Nice. So, welcome everyone. Oop. Testing. 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 Testing.
The one is the last minute thing. Apologies.
So, yeah, I think we're good. Sound. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you also for those online. So we're just absorbing the news of Rinpoche's passing. And that happened so suddenly when we were watching photos of Rinpoche traveling to the Sum Valley and looking so joyful and radiant. And here we are today. So I wanted to share, many of you have been reading the news that was shared through FPMT, but I thought we would start by reading it together, as it carries Rinpoche's spirit and and energy. And so the news shared, and this was from Venerable Roger from Kopan in Nepal. Rinpoche has been up in the mountains in the Sum Valley since Monday and had to be brought down urgently as he was experiencing altitude sickness. His Holiness has been informed and is giving advice. The Lama Zopa and the monks are taking turns in sessions offering Chittamanitar with Rinpoche, as advised by His Holiness. And other pujas and prayers are being offered here in Kopan, and they're being offered around the world, including here in London right now. Kadrala has advised that at this most important and precious time for students, and Kadrala went on to advise that the best thing for students to do at this time is to practice bodhicitta in particular, as well as impermanence in the context of the Lamrim, and then also as much as one can to help fulfill the Guru's holy wishes. Kadrala insisted that we should take this opportunity to try and achieve all or some of the Lamrim in our own practice. Meditating and praying to the Guru to receive his blessings and guidance is very important, and to try as much as possible to complete Rinpoche's projects and holy wishes. So already generating that wish that we'll be able to do that. Rinpoche was the embodiment of bodhicitta and always stressed the importance of remembering impermanence and the essential need to put the teachings into practice. And that is what we can do for our precious Guru right now. We can all connect with the Guru and receive the Guru's blessing in this way. And now is a very important time for this. So today we'll be doing the Medicine Buddha Puja together, and after that we'll be doing a light offering and then do a light offering dedication prayer. And so for those who are at home, offering some lights and then joining us in the dedication prayer, if you would like. And after the light offering, we'll do some Lamrim prayers and close after that. So today we're fortunate to have the visit of Ken Rinpoche Geshe Tashi, who's in London at the moment this week, and very kindly has joined us to do these practices together. And so Rinpoche has kindly agreed to just share a few words, and then we'll start the puja.
This morning, when I heard the sad news that Rinpoche had passed away suddenly, I felt it is very important for me to go somewhere and to do a practice. And somewhere to go is this place, Jamyang Buddhist Center, and Director Venerable Dalai said it, organizing a Medicine Buddha practice, and I felt I really want to join this practice together with the people who have Dharma connection to the Rinpoche, and sometimes in a group practice is more powerful, more inspiring, and more sort of, feel very energetic. So therefore, I thought I should come here and to join with the group. And as we all know, Kyabje Lama Zopa Rinpoche had dedicated entire his life serving not just human beings, but also other animals through his Dharma teachings. And out of his great love, compassion, and altruistic awakened mind, bodhicitta. Though his physical body, he passed away from this life, but all these important activities serving living beings are still with us, and our responsibility as a follower of his teachings is to really, as much as we can, first of all, individually, to live our life according to the teachings that he had given, and serve living beings as he had shown to us for many years and in many different ways. Of course, we feel shock, we feel sad, we feel, get lost. But through the Dharma teachings, we will overcome from these emotional difficulties. Then really, as much as we can, to continue to practice the teachings that he had given to us, and to support all those important projects that he had started. In that way, we are fulfilling Rinpoche's prayers, wishes. So same time, I'm sure soon we will have prayers to, the Rinpoche, be come back to us in a new life. That kind of prayer I'm sure we will, receive very soon, and say that prayer as much as we can. Once again, we have the opportunity to receive teachings and guidance from him. So, as His Holiness Dalai Lama and the other great teachers have advised, follow those advice closely, and do all our best to practice the Dharma according to the Rinpoche's teachings that Rinpoche had given.
So let's just pause a moment and to set our motivation for this practice. And certainly tonight in this temple, the presence of Rinpoche is just felt so strongly, and the blessings of Rinpoche. And so, as for a moment, easing into this bodhicitta mind. And just thinking all the teachings that we've received from Rinpoche, helping us open our hearts to others and developing this really deep sense of caring for all mother beings and this profound sense of responsibility for the welfare of others. And so feeling tonight as we're doing the Medicine Buddha practice and reciting these beautiful invocations and offerings and prostrations and so forth, that we're doing this to help alleviate suffering and to help create the causes for Rinpoche's swift return. So we'll turn to page 102 in the Silver Book for those who are in the temple. And I see a few people don't have a book. Have we run out? Yeah. And then those online, Venerable Kunchak, those online have. Nature incorporating the entire body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities of all the Tathagatas of the 3 times and 10 directions, source of 84,000 collections of Dharma, Lord of all Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the kind and glorious holy written lineage gurus. I seek refuge in the completely enlightened Lord Buddhas. I seek refuge in the holy Dharma. I seek refuge in the Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the 8 brothers gone to bliss. The Lord Medicine Buddha is with a host of retinue deities. I seek refuge in the glorious holy protectors, Dharma protectors, guardians endowed with a wisdom eye. Nature incorporating the entire body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities of all the Tathagatas of the 3 times and 10 directions. Source of 84,000 collections of Dharma, Lord of all Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the kind and glorious holy written lineage gurus. I seek refuge in completely enlightened Lord Buddhas. I seek refuge in the holy Dharma. I seek refuge in the Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the 8 brothers gone to bliss, the Lord Medicine Buddhas with a host of retinue deities. I seek refuge in the glorious holy protector, Dharma protectors, guardians endowed with a wisdom eye. Nature incorporating the entire body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities of all the Tathagatas of the 3 times and 10 directions. Source of 84,000 collections of Dharma, Lord of all Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the kind and glorious holy written lineage gurus. I seek refuge in the completely enlightened Lord Buddhas. I seek refuge in the holy Dharma. I seek refuge in the Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the 8 brothers gone to bliss, the Lord Medicine Buddhas with a host of retinue deities. I seek refuge in the glorious holy protectors, Dharma protectors, guardians endowed with the wisdom eye. And we'll recite twice in Tibetan and once in English. Sangye Chudan Suki Chugnam La Janju Bardu Dagni Kyapsuchi Dagi Jinso Kipe Sonam Ki Dula Penche Sangye Du Pashuk Sangye Chudan Suki Chugnam La Janju Bardu Dagni Kyapsuchi Dagi Jinso Kipe Sonam Ki Dula Penche Sangye Du Pashuk. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merit from giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. All sentient beings who, although self and all appearances are Dhammadhatu my nature, have not realized it thus. I shall endow with happiness and the causes of happiness. I shall separate from suffering and the causes of suffering. I shall make inseparable from happiness without suffering, and I shall set in equanimity the cause of well-being, free from attachment, aversion, and partiality. All sentient beings, although self and all appearances are Dhammadhatu by nature, have not realized it thus. I shall endow with happiness and the causes of happiness. I shall separate from suffering and the causes of suffering. I shall make inseparable from happiness without suffering, and I shall set in equanimity the cause of well-being, free from attachment, aversion, and partiality. All sentient beings, although self and all appearances are Dhammadhatu by nature, have not realized it thus. I shall endow with happiness and the causes of happiness. I shall separate from suffering and the causes of suffering. I shall make inseparable from happiness without suffering, and I shall set in equanimity the cause of well-being, free from attachment, aversion, and partiality. For the welfare of all mother sentient beings, I need to attain complete Buddhahood. Therefore, I'm going to engage in the stages of the path, such as prostrating, making offering, and heartfelt requests, entreating the holy minds to grant blessings to the 8 brothers gone to bliss, the Lord Medicine Buddhas with their host of retinues deities. Through the power of the supreme truth of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas' blessing, the might of the 2 collections, and the purity of the Dhammadhatu, may this realm's beings and environments be enriched like Sukhavati, with all the desirable perfections of both samsara and nirvana. Jeweled ground adorned with trees and with ponds, as bottoms are covered with gold, silver, and pearl dust, flowers strewn and sandalwood fragrance rising, humans and divine enjoyments, Samantabhadra's offerings everywhere. There, in the center of a charming jeweled palace, on lotuses and lion thrones, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas abide. May everywhere be filled with oceans of clouds of offerings which they enjoy, born through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspirations. So we'll pause just for a moment and allow for our minds to catch up with what we've just recited and to connect with this visualization before we do the offering cloud mantra. Visualizing this jeweled ground adorned with the trees and ponds, covered with gold, silver, and pearl dust, surrounded by flowers and the scent of sandalwood, and offerings everywhere surrounding this charming jeweled palace. And in the jeweled palace on lotuses and lion thrones, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas abide. And so imagining the space filled with these oceans of clouds of offering, which are being enjoyed. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajratara Pramadana Tathagataya Arate Samaksam Buddhaya Tayata Om Vajra Vajra Maha Vajra Mahatesa Vajra Mahavidya Vajra Mahabodhichita Vajra Mahabodhi Mendopatam Gramana Vajra Savakama Avarana Visudana Vajra Soha
Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasava Pramadana Tathagataya Arate Samyaksam Buddhaya Tata Om Vajra Vajra Mahatesha Vajra Mahavijaya Vajra Mahabodhishita Vajra Mahabodhi Mendopa Samkramana Vajra Savakama Avarana Visadana Vajra Soha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasava Pramadana Tathagataya Arate Samyaksam Buddhaya Tata Om Vajra Vajra Mahatesha Vajra Mahavijaya Vajra Mahabodhishita Vajra Mahabodhi Mendopa Samkramana Vajra Savakama Avarana Visadana Vajra Soha. By the power of the truth of the three jewels, of the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by the power of the great might of the completed two collections, and of the completely pure, inconceivable sphere of reality, may all these offerings become just so. So turning to page 106, the invocation. Compassionate protectors in degenerate time, seven Sagatas, Buddha, Shakyamuni, Holy Dharma, Bodhisattvas, and guardians, invited as a support and protector refuge to protect others and myself. May you come here, gather, and grant your blessings. Root Guru, whose kindness is without equal, King of the Shakya, Manjushri, Centric Chitta, and so on, holding in their hand this profound sutra, to the direct and lineage gurus, I prostrate. To the compassionate ones who liberate destitute beings, seven Sagatas, Buddha, Shakyamuni, Holy Dharma, Manjushri, Kyabje, Vajrapani, Brahma, and Ishvara, and the Maharajas and Yakshas, I prostrate. I make every collections of offerings actually range and emanated through the fulsome mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativities and rejoice in virtues, request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Great Bhagavan Assembly, pray, listen. Seven Sagatas as you promised. Your previous prayers will be fulfilled during the final period of Shakyamuni's teachings. Pray, show me in actuality it is true. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arahat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious, going of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arahat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious, going of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arahat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious, king of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arahat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious, king of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arahat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious, king of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arahat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious, king of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arahat, fully enlightened Buddha, renowned, glorious, king of excellent signs, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please, may the pledges you made right upon myself and all sentient beings right now, may all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Golden in color with mudra of granting refuge, who accomplished 8 prayers, body majestic of the glorious three accumulations, glorious one of the Buddha field unconquered by others, to renowned glorious king of excellent science, I prostrate. In flowers of the major marks, flourishing and pure, answers of minor sciences, this beautiful body, one who sees, hears, or thinks of you is glorified, to renowned glorious king of excellent science, I prostrate. I make every collections of offerings actually range and emanated with the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativities and rejoice in virtues, request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. The force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering. May all sentient beings such as ourselves be freed from epidemics, execution, criminals, and spirit, have faculties fully complete, have the continuing suffering and negativities cut, not fall to fellow realms and experience the happiness of humans and gods. With hunger, thirst, and poverty pacified, may there be wealth. With torments of bodies such as bindings and beatings, without harms of tigers, lions, and snakes, with conflict pacified, endowed with loving minds and relief from fear of flood as well, may we pass to fearless bliss. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus and a Buddha field, qualities complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors, such as renowned, glorious King of excellent signs, and cause them delight. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant of rages of skill, adorned with jewels, Mula lotus, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant rages of skill, adorned with jewels, Mula lotus, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant rages of skill, adorned with jewels, Mula lotus, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant radius of skill, adorned with jewels, and lotus, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant radius of skill, adorned with jewels, and lotus, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant radius of skill, adorned with jewels, and lotus, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, King of melodious sound, brain of red is the skill, adorned with jewels, and lotus, I prostrate off and go for refuge. Please, may the pledges you made right upon myself and all sentient beings right now, may all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Yellow in color with mood of granting supreme, who accomplished 8 prayers, majestic of the glorious accumulation, glorious one of the Buddha field endowed with jewels, I prostrate to the King of melodious sound, well adorned with jewels, moon, and lotus, wisdom expanded and mastery of all knowable objects, endowed with a mind as deep as the ocean, I prostrate at the feet of King of melodious sound. I make every collection of offerings actually range and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativities and rejoice in virtues, request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering. For all sentient beings such as ourselves, may the distracted flourish in the Dharma, have wealth and goods of humans and gods, without tormented conception, be always born human, never be separated from bodhicitta, increase in virtuous Dharma, purify obscurations, and attain the happiness of humans and gods. May we be freed from being separated from spiritual guide, from dark ages, spirit harm, death, and enemies, and from the dangers of isolated places. May we have enthusiasm for making offerings and performing ritual services. May lesser beings have samadhi, mindfulness, strength, the dharani of non-forgetfulness, and attain supreme wisdom. May tormenting fires be cooled. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from the lotus and a Buddha field, qualities complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors, such as King of melodious sound, and cause them delight. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel, who accomplished all vows, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel, who accomplished all vows, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel, who accomplished all vows, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel, who accomplished all vows, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel, who accomplished all vows, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel, who accomplished all vows, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent gold, great jewel, who accomplished all vows, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please, may the pledges you made right upon myself and all sentient beings right now, may all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Golden in color like the river Sambhu, with Dharma teaching mudra, having accomplished full prayers, majestic with the glorious accumulation, glorious one of the Buddha field, incense field, I prostrate to stainless, excellent gold, paramount among golds like the gold of the river Sambhu, blazing with more radiance than 1,000 suns, body like a stainless golden stupa, I prostrate to stainless, excellent gold. I make every collection of offerings actually range and emanated with the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativities and rejoice in virtues, request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering, for all sentient beings such as ourselves, may the short live gain longevity, the poor fall wealth. May combatants come to have loving minds. May we not be without training and fall to lower realms, but be bound by our vows and never without bodhicitta. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus and a Buddha field, qualities complete. Become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors, such as stainless X and gold, and cause them delight. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory, free from sorrow, I prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory, free from sorrow, I prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory, free from sorrow, I prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory, free from sorrow, I prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory, free from sorrow, I prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory, free from sorrow, I prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, supreme glory, free from sorrow, I prostrate offer and go for refuge. Please, may the pledges you made right upon myself and all sentient beings right now, may all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Light red in color with mood of meditative equipoise, who accomplished full prayers, body majestic of the glory teaching nation. Glorious one of the Buddha field without sorrow, I prostrate to supreme glory free from sorrow. Pass beyond sorrow, attain to supreme bliss, pacify of sentient beings, three poisons and suffering, protector of beings of the six realms, to the glorified one, supreme glory free from sorrow, I prostrate. I make every collections of offerings actually range and emanated through the fulsome mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativities and rejoice in virtues, request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering, for all sentient beings such as ourselves, may sorrow and the like always be pacified, and life be long and happy. May the conqueror's light increase bliss and joy in the health. May we have brightness, beauty, and wealth unharmed by spirits. May we have love for each other, and may there be no disease. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus and a Buddha field, qualities complete. And come a vessel for transmitting the teaching of conquerors, such as supreme glory free from sorrow, and cause them delight. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean proclaim Dharma, I prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean proclaim Dharma, I prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean proclaim Dharma, prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean proclaim Dharma, prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean proclaim Dharma, prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean proclaim Dharma, prostrate often go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, melodious ocean proclaim Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please, may the pledges you made right upon myself and all sentient beings right now, may all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Pink in color with mood of teaching the Dharma, who accomplished full prayers, majestic with the glory of true accumulation. Glorious one of the Buddha field, victory banner of Dharma, I prostrate to melodious ocean of proclaimed Dharma. Great sound of Dharma conquering adversaries, endowed with speeches deep as the ocean, pacifies beings sufferings without exception. I prostrate to melodious ocean proclaimed Dharma. I make every collections of offerings actually range and emanated through the fulsome mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativities and rejoice in virtues, request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering, for all sentient beings such as ourselves, may we always have perfect view and faith, hear the sound of Dharma and be enriched with bodhicitta. For the sake of resources, may we give up negativities, may wealth increase. May we abide in love, have long lives, and be content. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus and a Buddha field, qualities complete. Become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors, such as melodious, social, and proclaimed Dharma, and cause them delight. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful, clean knowing, supreme wisdom and ocean of Dharma, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful, clean knowing, supreme wisdom and ocean of Dharma, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful, clean knowing, supreme wisdom and ocean of Dharma, prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful, clean knowing, supreme wisdom of an ocean of Dharma, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful, clean knowing, supreme wisdom of an ocean of Dharma, prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful, clean knowing, supreme wisdom of an ocean of Dharma, I prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, delightful, clean knowing, supreme wisdom of an ocean of Dharma, I prostrate off and go for refuge. Please, may the pledges you made right upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Coral color with mood of granting the supreme, who accomplished full prayers, majestic with the glory of pre-accumulation, glorious one of the Buddha field, ocean of jewels, I prostrate to the King of clean knowing. Mind of profound Dharma wisdom difficult to fathom, sporting in the pure sphere of truth, one who sees all noble objects directly, I prostrate to King of clear knowing. I make every collection of offerings actually range and emanated with the fulsome mantra of samadhi and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativities and rejoice in virtues, request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. With the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering. For all sentient beings such as ourselves, may the distracted be free of malice and rich in goods. May those on evil path to lower realms attend the 10 virtues. May those controlled by others gain perfect independence, and all have long life, hear the names, and be virtuous. And when we pass the light from this life, may we be born from a lotus and a Buddha field, qualities complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as King of clear knowing, and cause them delight. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine guru, King of Lapasada, prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine guru, King of Lapasada, prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine guru, King of Lapasada, prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine guru, King of Lapasada, prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine guru, King of Lapasada, prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine guru, King of Lapasada, prostrate off and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, medicine guru, King of Lapasada, I prostrate, offer and go for refuge. Please, may the pledges remain right upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Blue in color with mood of granting supreme, who accomplished 12 prayers, majestic of the glorious accumulation, glorious one of the Buddha field lapis light, I prostrate to medicine guru, King of doctors, Bhagavan with equal compassion for all, whose name when merely heard dispels the sufferings of lower realms, dispeller of disease and the 3 poisons, I prostrate to medicine Buddha lapis light. I make every collection of offerings actually range and emanated with the fulsome mantra of samadhi and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativities and rejoice in virtues. So we're gonna pause. We're just gonna pause here. We're gonna pause and we're gonna rejoice in Rinpoche's virtue. And when we think about rejoicing for Rinpoche's virtue, it's just effortlessly like an abundant spring. It just effortlessly comes. Because every moment of Rinpoche's existence and life was 100% impeccable in virtue. And so thinking about Rinpoche's incredible kindness,
after Lama Yeshe's passing and taking on the responsibility of becoming spiritual director of the FPMT. And how under his spiritual guidance, centers all around the world have been flourishing, including Jamyang here in London. And so thinking about the countless teachings that Rinpoche gave for decades, traveling around the world, teaching again and again and again and again, impermanence, renunciation, bodhicitta, emptiness. How wonderful, how precious it is. And rejoicing in our good fortune for having made a connection with a being who's such impeccable bodhicitta. When I think about rejoicing in Rinpoche, it's that insight that Venerable Roger shared in in a rare interview he gave, of having served Rinpoche for over 40 years. He shared this observation that in all the years where he's been with Rinpoche continuously, with very few breaks in between, that he's never experienced Rinpoche having a thought that would just be about himself. And he said he's never seen Rinpoche even asking ever for a cup of tea for himself. So just for a moment, rejoicing in a life like that, in a mind like that, where every thought and every moment is about others. Just how incredible that is, and how fortunate we are to have come across such an impeccable role model. And then rejoicing that through receiving teachings from Rinpoche, that the seed of bodhicitta has been planted in our hearts and has been nurtured. How incredible that is. Just how fortunate. Going back to the practice. Request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering, may each and every sentient being, such as ourselves, all become like you, graced with marks and signs. May the light dispelling darkness, the enjoyment of wisdom and skillful means be inexhaustible. May those attracted to mistaken lesser path enter Mahana path, and all be beautified by their vows. May we be free from pain caused by immorality, be complete in faculties and without disease, and have abundant goods. May those disillusioned with the weakest conditions always have powerful faculties. And may we be freed from Morris noose and perverse viewpoints,
May those tormented by kings gain bliss, and those who out of hunger support themselves to negativity be satisfied with food received in accordance with the Dharma. May hardships of heat and cold be pacified, and all good wishes be fulfilled. Endowed with morality that pleases the Aryas, may we be liberated. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus in a Buddha field, qualities complete. Become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as Medicine Guru, King of Doctors, and cause them delight. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni, prostrate often, go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni, prostrate often, go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni, prostrate often, go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni, prostrate often, go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni, prostrate often, go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni, prostrate often, go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni, prostrate often, go for refuge. Is that it? Please, may the pleasure be made right upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Golden in color with earth's pressing mudra, and through the force of unique great compassion and enthusiasm, become the glorious one of this, the fearless world system. I prostrate to Supreme Leader, head of the Shakyas. Born in the Shakya lineage out of skillful means and compassion, unchallenged by others, conquers Amara's forces, body majestic as the golden mount mirror. I prostrate to the King of the Shakyas. I make every collection of offerings actually range and emanated with the fulsome mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativities and rejoice in virtues. Pray, bless us and all beings who lack a protector to receive here immediately without exception the benefits as taught by the Supreme Teacher in the extensive sutra ritual of Medicine Buddha. Supreme lamp, dispelling the darkness of ignorance, foremost of medicine, alleviating suffering and disease, to the entire sublime jewel of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Supreme lamp, dispelling the darkness of ignorance, foremost of medicine, alleviating suffering and disease, to the entire sublime jewel of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Supreme lamp, dispelling the darkness of ignorance, foremost of medicine, alleviating suffering and disease, to the entire sublime jewel of Dharma, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Homage to the Mother of the Victorious One, perfection of wisdom and holy Dharma of the three vehicles, who totally destroys the dark seeds of suffering caused and uproots the pain of suffering completely. I make every collections of offerings actually range and emanated through the fulsome mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativities and rejoice in virtues. So we'll pause again. We'll pause again here, and we'll bask again and rejoice in Rinpoche's virtue. And we can think about Rinpoche having been such an example of Guru devotion. And thinking about the ways in which he was so devoted and served Lama Yeshe for so many years. And out of devotion, took on the responsibility of spiritual leadership of the FPMT and carried on Lama's work. You can think about Rinpoche's Guru devotion in serving His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And just making sure that all the centers within the FPMT mandala would fulfill His Holiness's wishes. And that one of Rinpoche's last act of kindness was
requesting to offer a long life puja to His Holiness. And I'm sure you will have image and instances that will arise in your own mind of just Rinpoche's just total humility and total devotion to his teachers. Okay, back to the ritual. Request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the blessings of the truth of the holy Dharma jewel, may I and all others henceforth in all our lives practice the Buddhist teachings in their entirety, exactly as the Buddhas intended. The conqueror's heart commitments were invoked by 36,000 sons of Sagatas, including Manjushri, Kyabje, and Vajrapani. Thus requested, they proclaim the sutra's benefit. Pray, manifest all of them for me here and now, and to the worldly protector Yaksha leaders as well, as you promised to do before previous teachers, to stop enemies, harmers, and epidemics, pacify all conflicts, and increase physical and mental bliss. Increase wealth, power, property, crops, and lifespan. Accomplish these desired goals as we wish, and always protect us without break. So we're going to be, we'll pause just for a moment before doing the mantra recitation. And of course, as we think about and hold in our minds all the people within the community that turn to us for prayers. And so especially today, of course, we think about Rinpoche and especially just creating the causes for Rinpoche's swift return. Holding in our minds as well all of Rinpoche's students in our community and around communities around the world. As Ken Rinpoche said, the emotions of grief and loss and also just gratitude and gratefulness and joy and just just intense gratitude. So we'll also recite the names of the people on our prayer list as well.
Okay, so these are the names submitted for the dedication list from the past 49 days. For clarity and wisdom, we have Giuseppe Pompey, Shimin Yu, Matt and Gina. For a fortunate rebirth, we have Richard Payne, Giuseppe Pompey, Stacey Hazard, Michael Lloyd Wright, Brenda Wilson, Venerable Pemo, Madhu Shah, Ryan. For harmony and relationships, we have Naomi Weisler and Assie Moore. For long life and good health, we have Mitra Elena. We have Giuseppe Pompey, Merit Karen Anderson, Jackie Keeley, Heinz, Abrielle Jamyang Zangskar, Dr. Michael Lloyd Wright, Patrick, Earl Bedford, Gary South, Shirley Sherman, Christopher Waite, Darlene, Ian Lee, Ulcibat Chansal, Ulcibat Jarampa, Luca Morera, Claire Doherty, Roberto, Evelyn, Hero the Rabbit, Ranjan, Shirley Long, Viola Cleo Bradshaw, And for a peaceful and calm mind, we have Bear Phoenix Valentine, Amanda Smith, Maver's mother, Peter Buchanan, Patricia Marshall, Claudia Cloy, and David Jailer. General dedications for Marie Christine Hamel, also Lord Jesus of Nazareth. For removing obstacles, Khan Hin, Matthew Smith, Tenzin Yangsun, Alzabetta Brown, Ute, Kamal, Christina, Saida, Venerable Gyatso, Venerable Tempa, and also prayers for John Watson, who's in his last days. And so that's the end of the dedication list. Maggie Sorby, anybody else?
I want to add Barbara Robson, who passed away on Saturday. Some of you may remember she was in her 90s, but she appeared at a friend's event and recently, and she was a great inspiration. I remember she grabbed my arm and beckoned me to sit next to her. And she looked straight into my eyes and she said to me, I want you to hold climate cafes at Jamyang. You know, and she was in her 90s and just so concerned about the welfare of beings on the planet who are suffering from ecological degeneration. So holding her in our hearts as well. So we'll recite the long mantra 3 times together, and then we'll do a mala of the short mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Bekenze Gurupejura Prabharazaya Tathagataya Arate Samyak Sambuddhaya Dayata Om Bekenze Bekenze Maha Bekenze Bekenze Raja Samugate So Om Namo Bhagavate Bekenze Gurupejura Prabharazaya Tathagataya Arate Samyak Sambuddhaya Dayata Om Bekenze Bekenze Maha Bekenze Bekenze Raja Samugate Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Bekenze Gurupejura Prabharazaya Tathagataya Arate Samyak Sambuddhaya Dayata Om Bekenze Bekenze Maha Bekenze Bekenze Raja Samugate Soha Tayata Om Bekenze Bekenze Maha Bekenze Bekenze Raja Samugate Soha Tayata Om Bekenze Bekenze Maha Bekenze
Ayatown, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Rata Samu Gate Soha. Root Guru, whose kindness is without equal, King of the Shakya, Manjushu, Shankrakusha, and so on, holding in their hand this profound sutra. To the direct and lineage gurus I prostrate. To the compassionate ones who liberate destitute being, 7 Sagatas, Buddha Shakyamuni, Holy Dharma. To Manjushri, Kyabje, Vajrapani, Brahmaneshwara, and the Maharajas and Yakshas are prostrate. I make every collections of offerings actually range and emanated with the fulsome mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativities, rejoice in virtues, request and beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Whatever I have done or caused to be done that was unprepared or degenerated or done with my deluded mind, please be patient with all of these. Whatever the beings of this degenerate age have done, of lesser merit mixed with ignorant delusions that did not fulfill the error's wishes, please be patient with these as well. Under the influence of mightiness, lacking in skill, having made bad offerings or faulty arrangements, O protector endowed with great compassion, please be patient with these as well. Whatever was superfluous or left undone, degeneration in parts of the ritual, or whatever was forgotten, please be patient with these as well. By remaining here together with this image, for the sake of all migrators, may you grant us long life without illness, power, and supreme attainment. Om Supratishta Vajra Yeso Ham. The host of medicine Buddha deities pervade all directions of the round of space with perfection, some raining down multicolored lotuses, some singing songs requesting goodness, some acting to conquer Mars and obstructors, and all bestow on you supreme good fortune. Know this full well and be very joyful, and I shall voice sweet melody expressing auspiciousness. Supreme teachers of humans and gods, touching my crown to your feet of jeweled moonlight, grants the glory of good fortune of Kumara's flowers blossoming. To Minindra, moon of expounder, I prostrate. Manjushri and great abbot Shankarshita, Trichandetsan, the Chisha father and sons, second conqueror Losandrapa, and so on, through the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of the supreme root and lineage gurus, may all negativity and degeneration be ended, and bliss and goodness increasing like the waxing moon. May it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection, accomplishing the supreme ocean of prayers, invoking truth. During the teachings declined for protectless beings, who were untamed by other sun-like conquerors, with the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of those 7 Sagatas, protectors during degenerate time, may all negativity and degeneration be ended, and bliss and goodness increasing like the waxing sun. May it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection. Broad lotus-like tongue of the Lord of the Able Ones, especially exalted even in the later days of the Shaka's teaching, such that if performed, one gains the essence of mortality's ambrosia, through the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of that King of the vast and profound Sutra Pitaka, may all negativity and degeneration be ended, and bliss and goodness increasing like the waxing moon. May it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection. Through the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of those children of the lineage performing the sutra ritual, by simply reciting the names of the King of Doctors of all realms, 10 directions, and through the especially extensive prayers of the teacher of Buddhas and the Sagatas, may all negativity and degeneration be ended, and bliss and goodness increasing like the waxing moon. May it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection. Accomplished through the compassion mantra of the Sagatas, through faith, samadhi, and words of truth, constructions of jewels, abode of the 3 jewels beyond the 3 realms, through the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of that supreme Buddha field equal to Sukhavati, may all negativity and degeneration be ended, and bliss and goodness increasing like the waxing moon. May it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection. Ngewadi Nyurduda Lama Sangye Drub Gyurne Drub Malupa De Sala Geparsho Jangjup Sancho Rinpoche Ma Ke Panam Ke Gyuching Ke Panyam Pa Me Payang Gong Ne Gong Du Pelwa Sho Jam Pel Pa Wo Jita Ken Padang Kuntu Zang Po De Yang De Jinte De Da Kun Gi Jesu Da Glopche Ge Wa Di Da Tamche Rap Tu No Du Sum Shek Pe Gel Wa Tamche Ki No Wa Gang La Chuk Tu Nak Pa De Da Gi Ge We Tsa Wa Di Kun Kyang Zang Po Che Chi Rap Tu No Wa Gi. Due to the merits accumulated over the 3 times by myself and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, which are empty from their own side, may I, who's empty from its own side, achieve the state of enlightenment, which is empty from its own side, and lead all sentient beings who are empty from their own side to that state as quickly as possible by myself alone. Because of all the merits of the 3 times created by me and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and other sentient beings, may there be no war, famine, disease, quarreling, fighting, or unhappy minds. May there be great prosperity, and may everything needed be easily obtained. May all the human beings in the world be guided by spiritual leaders teaching only Dhamma, and may everyone enjoy the happiness of Dharma. So we'll have just a few minutes break, about 5 minutes break, and then we'll start with the light offering practices. And again, those of you who are joining at home, if you want to stay, and what we'll do here in the temple is we'll go up to, we have 100 light candles set on a table, and we'll go up and light candles. So it'll just take maybe about 10 minutes, something like that. And then we'll do the offering dedicating prayer. So if you're at home, you can offer some lights at home and then dedicate together. And then we'll have some Lamrim dedications as well. Yeah, and we'll recite Rinpoche's name mantra as people are going up and lighting the candles. Yeah. Thank you. So see you in a few minutes. Will you move the camera? So, welcome back. So, Venerable Konchog is, I think you can see if you're joining us from home, the table that's been set with the candles. And so, for those who are in the temple, what we'll do is Jess and her team put out these 4 lighters. So for 4 people at a time to walk up, and you can, I won't do the math, but we can gauge, you can probably light about 3 candles each, I would say, roughly. So let's try that. And so maybe we'll just start behind me, 4 people go up, light the candle, and take your time. As you do this, we'll be reciting Rinpoche's name mantra. And Venerable Wangyal will lead us into a beautiful tune. And so as people go up and light these candles and we chant the mantra, we can just, just feel Rinpoche's presence and receive the blessings of Rinpoche, and think, meditate on bodhicitta and guru devotion and whatever comes up for us. So we'll start.
Okay, so if you have the Lama Zopa book, it's on page 151. And the tune that we're going to do, I think it was Yangtze Rinpoche who suggested that because it's a Sanskrit mantra, they should come up with an Indian tune. And you can find a recording of it online, I think recited by a former FPMT India coordinator. And we've posted it in the chat on YouTube if you want to join in. Om Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi Hum. 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 Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi 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 Hum. Om Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum. Om Maha Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarvasiddhi Hum. Om Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi Om Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi Om Guru Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi Om Guru Vajradhara Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi Om Guru Vajradhara Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi Om Guru Vajradhara Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi Om Guru Vajradhana 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 Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi
Guru Vajradhara
Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi
Guru Sashanakshanti Sarva Siddhi
Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi Om Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi Om Guru 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 Vajradhana Muni Shasanakshanti Sarva Siddhi
So just for a moment, before we turn to the light offering dedication prayer that was composed by Lama Tisha, just for a moment, imagining this light of wisdom
dispelling the darkness of ignorance, dispelling the darkness of the self-cherishing mind, imagining this light of wisdom spreading in all 10 directions. And illuminating the mind of every sentient being. Dispelling all mental afflictions, all anguish, all confusion. Dispelling all the anger, all the hate. And bringing instead just peace, joy, comfort, unconditional love, unconditional compassion. Arising effortlessly in the wake of wisdom. And just feeling that light within our own hearts, which is inseparable from the presence of Rinpoche. And just feeling the strong blessings of his presence. And just as communities around the world are gathering today and offering lights and dedicating just as we are. And so as we're dedicating, we can imagine also dedicating all of those light offerings and all of those practices as one open-hearted community of bodhicitta. May the light of the lamp be equal to the great 3,000 worlds and their environment. May the wick of the lamp be equal to the king of mountains, Mount Meru. May the butter be equal to the infinite ocean. May there be billions and trillions of lamps in the presence of each and every Buddha. May the light illuminate the darkness of ignorance of all sentient beings, from the peak of samsara down to the most torturous hell, whereby they can see directly and clearly all the 10 directions, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and their pure lands. Om Vajra Aloke Ahong M Aho. I offer this beautifully exalted, clear and luminous light to the thousands Buddhas of the fortunate eon, to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the infinite pure lands and of the 10 directions, to all the gurus, meditations, deities, dakas, dakinis, dharma protectors in the assembly of deities of all mandalas. Due to this, may my father, mother, and all sentient beings in this life and in all future lives be able to see directly the actual pure lands of the complete and perfect Buddhas. May they unify with Buddha Amitabha in inseparable oneness. Please bless me and my prayers be actualized as soon as possible. Due to the power of the truth of the Triple Gem and the assembly of deities of the three roots. Tayata, Pensadri, Awa Buddha, Naya, Soha. The light transforms into single brilliant 5 bright colored wisdom.
On a lotus and mundus, the dissyllable Om and D appear. From them, 108 beautiful goddesses of light, Marmema, appear, wearing beautiful garments and precious garlands. Every goddess holds light in her hands, and from them emanate billions of trillions of ethnic replicas of light offering goddess, Marmema. All of them make light offerings uninterruptedly to all the Buddhas and the Buddha fields throughout the entire space, to the peaceful and wrathful deities. Thus, due to the merits of having made such light offerings, may all the benefactors, the deceased and migrating beings of the sixth realm benefits. May all the degenerate samaya and broken vows be restored. May all the superstitious obscurations be purified. May all their bad karma, negativities, and obscurations be purified. May the realms of samsara become empty immediately. Please grant control, power, and realization. All of what Rinpoche wishes for us is to actualize the realizations of the Lamrim. And one of the countless many activities that he did to support us in doing so was to compile this little booklet that he would encourage all of us to use as a daily method. And so today, we're going to be reciting the Lamrim prayer as was compiled by Rinpoche, just for us. So we'll, in the little booklet here, we'll start. Yeah. So those who are still online with us, so it's we weren't able to find the PDF, but all I would say is that's okay. It's a meditation. So as we do the recitation, just listen to the words and meditate with us on the graduate path to enlightenment, and join us in this meditation, fulfilling the Holy Guru's wishes. Essence encompassing all the Buddhas, originator of all the holy Dharma of scripture and realization, principle of all the Aryas intending virtue, in the glorious holy Gurus I take refuge. Please, Gurus, bless my mind to become Dharma, Dharma to become the path, and the path to be without obstacles. Until I achieve Buddhahood, please bless me to be like youthful Norsong and Bodhisattva, always crying, in correctly following the virtuous friend with pure thought and action, seeing whatever is done is pure, and accomplishing whatever is said and advised. Please bless me to see that this greatly meaningful body with freedoms and richnesses is difficult to find and easily perishes, that action and results are so profound, and that the sufferings of the evil gone transmigratory beings are so difficult to bear. Therefore, please bless me to take refuge from the depths of my heart in the three rare sublime ones, to abandon negative karma and to accomplish virtue according to Dharma. In dependence upon that, Even if I achieve the mere higher rebirth of a deva or human, I will still have to experience suffering endlessly in samsara because of not having abandoned and being under the control of the disturbing thought and obscurations. Therefore, please bless me to reflect well upon the way of circling in samsara and to continuously follow day and night the path of the three types of precious trainings, the principal method for becoming free from samsara. Independence upon that, even if I achieve mere liberation, since there is no sentient beings of the sixth type who has not been my father and mother, please bless me to think I must fulfill the purpose and turn away from the lower happiness of nirvana. And then please bless me to generate precious bodhicitta by equalizing and exchanging myself and others, and to follow the conduct of the conqueror's son, the 6 paramitas, and so forth. Having trained my mind in the common path in that way, I will not be upset even if I have to experience the suffering of samsara for a long time. However, please bless me to look at sentient beings with extraordinary unbearable compassion, and to enter the quick path of the Vajrayana teaching, and then bless me to protect my vows and samayas more than my life, and to quickly accomplish a unified Vajradhara state in one brief lifetime of this degenerate time. And so we'll go to page 8 and visualizing the Guru entering our hearts. May I not give rise to heresy for even a second in regards to the action of the glorious Guru. May I see whatever actions are done as the stainless actions of a Buddha. And with this devotion, may I receive the Guru's blessing in my heart. Magnificent and precious root Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon at my heart. Guide me with your great kindness and grant me the realizations of your holy body, speech, and mind. Feeling the presence of Rinpoche in our hearts and imagining for a moment that our minds and the minds of Rinpoche become inseparable. And so as it would please Rinpoche tremendously, we'll then recite the verses of 8th Thought of Transformation and the verses that he selected for us from Shantideva. Determined to obtain the greatest possible benefit for all sentient beings who are more precious than a wish-fulfilling jewel, I hold them most dear in all times. May I become like a wish-granting jewel, fulfilling all the wishes, and like a wish-granting tree, fulfilling all the hopes of transmigrating beings. For the sake of accomplishing the 2 purposes of all sentient beings, without any sense of loss or concern, I give away my body and likewise my enjoyments, such as food and clothing, and even all my virtues accumulated over the 3 times. By abandoning attachment and giving everything away, I will pass beyond sorrow, and my mind will achieve the non-abiding sorrowless state, the state of omniscience. Since I will have to give up everything all at once when I die, it's best for me to give it away to sentient beings, because Buddhahood is attained in that way. As I have already given this body an impure aggregate to all beings to use for their pleasure, even if they always kill me, criticize me, beat me, and so forth, I will let them do whatever they like. From now on, whether they play games with my body, or make it an object of laughter by ridiculing or making fun, or it hurt me, Since I have already given this body of mine to sentient beings, why would I resist by protecting and so forth? I will also use it to do any virtuous action that doesn't harm and benefit others. Whenever any sentient beings encounters me, may it never be meaningless for them and always be meaningful. Whenever someone has an angry or devotional thought arise just by looking at me, may that attitude alone, because a cause that always accomplishes all the temporary and ultimate purposes of that being. Whenever others criticize me with their speech, harm me with their bodies, or likewise insult me behind my back, may all of them have the fortunes to achieve great enlightenment. May I be a savior for those who lack a savior, a guide for all the beings who enter the road, a boat, a ship, and a bridge for those who want to cross the water. May I be like an island for those who seek the safe shore of an island, a light for those who want a light, bedding for those who wish for bedding, and for all beings who desire a servant, may I become a servant of them all. May I be a wish-granting jewel and a wish-fulfilling vase, giving rise to whatever is desired, such as food and clothing, powerful mantra, accomplishing the actions of pacification, increase, and so forth, great medicine, curing every sickness, a wish-fulfilling tree, satisfying every need, and a wish-granting cow for all beings. The four great elements, the earth and so forth, and like the sky, may always be a means of living in every way for the innumerable sentient beings. Likewise, may be a means of living at all times and in all ways for the realms of sentient beings equaling the extent of space until they attain the sorrowless state. And as long as space remains, as long as transmigrating beings remain, until then, may I too remain to dispel the sufferings of transmigrating beings. And so we'll close with our final dedications. Dagi jine sakpe ke wadi tendan doa kunla gangpadan kepa jesu lo sanda pai tempe nimpo ring du selje sho gangre warwe kowe jinkam so pendan dewa malu jongwe ne chenre zegwan tenzen gatso yi jape site bartu tengyu shi. So we're this verse, which is poignant because it's Rinpoche's long life prayer. We will recite it, and in our hearts as we recite it, we think about requesting for Rinpoche's swift return. Tu jan jin jam gun gelwe tenzin kyong pelwe kun do po ze chok sum kuwe leg man tu dru padak sok du je gun du jab ten sho. Chanchu semcho rinpoche ma ke panam ke gyuche ke panyam pa me payang gong ne gong du pelwa sho noni dawa rinpoche ma ke panam ke gyuche ke panyam pa me payang gong ne gong du pelwa sho. As long as space remain, as long as migrating beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the sufferings of migratory beings. May the King of Dharma Tsongkhapa's way of Dharma practice flourish. May the omens of obstacles be pacified and all conducive circumstances be complete. Through the power of having made single-pointed requests to you, Losang Drakpa, may all unfortunate manifestation of the degenerate age, illness, famine, quarreling, epidemic disease, grow our spirits into fears and so forth be pacified, and excellent collections of conducive conditions increase. Please bless me that my wishes be swiftly fulfilled. By invoking the power of loving kindness and compassion of Chen Reizig, and through the force of making extensive prayers, may all sickness, war, fighting, and famine completely pacified, so that beings have long, healthy, and happy lives. May the glorious Guru's life be long and stable. May all beings equaling the extent of space have happiness. May I and others without exception accumulate merit and purify negativities, and may we be blessed to quickly attain Buddhahood. Kiwa kuntu langda lama dan drame chuki pela chuchung ching sadan lamgi yunter rabzone doje changi gopan yurtu sho. So making a really strong prayer never to be separated from the Holy Guru in all our lives. Thank you very much. Thank you, those online, for joining and doing practices together at this time. And we'll be sharing soon the practices and gathering. It's a powerful time to gather and do practices and share our gratitude and rejoice together and grieve together. So there'll be opportunities to do that, and we'll share that by email and social media, and so more and information will come soon. But from now, for all of those who are in the temple to all of you who are online, thank you for joining us and hope to see you soon. Thank you for joining us today. Very precious to have you here.